This is NBC10 Boston News tonight.
Now at 11, breaking news. Nearly 2 weeks in the making and thousands hitting the picket lines.
And if we don't get it!
Stop and Shop says they've reached an agreement.
Plus, the rain making a return tomorrow when you could see an impact on the roads also.
There was a loud explosion.
What started as a holy day turned to a bloodbath. Tonight, the search for answers in the terror attack that targeted Christians at church. And
a sweep from the C's as they chase the championship. And the B's tie their series up on the ice. NBC10 Boston Weekend tonight starts now.
We begin with that breaking news about Stop and Shop. The supermarket has reached a tentative agreement with the union, asking all employees to return to work tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Nick Emmons.
And I'm Christy Lee. This after an 11-day stretch on the picket lines, workers gaining some star power along the way and national recognition. Our Cassie Arsenault joins us live in Needham now with the latest. Cassie?
Christy, yeah, this tentative agreement right now includes increased pay, health coverage, and benefits, all in hopes that these strikers will head back to work. For over a week, striking workers at the biggest grocery chain in New England stood strong in their picket lines while they demanded changes in their contracts and higher wages. And on day 11, a tentative agreement was reached. The deal is for 3 years and includes increased pay for all associates, continued health coverage for those eligible, and benefit pension for those eligible. The union sent out this statement tonight saying in part, quote, "Today is a powerful victory for the 31,000 hardworking men and women of Stop and Shop who courageously stood up to fight for what all New Englanders want. Good jobs, affordable health care, a better wage, and to be treated right by the company they made a success," end quote. Now, employees are being asked to stop striking and to return to work. Stop and Shop sending us this statement saying, quote, "We deeply appreciate the patience and understanding of our customers during this time, and we look forward to welcoming them back to Stop and Shop," end quote. Now, Stop and Shop says that their top priority is to restock the stores so that they can continue to serve their customers. Live in Needham, Cassie Arsenault, NBC10 Boston.
And now to your first alert weather. Get ready for another round of rain as it moves up the coast. Showers return tomorrow, and they'll be pretty heavy at times.
Timing is everything on this one. We're going to check in with Chris Gloniger. Now, Chris, this will mainly affect the evening commute for people, right?
Getting into work, no problem. Going home, that's a different story. You can actually see some of that heavier rain just south of Long Island. In fact, some lightning strikes with this developing low. It is going to be a nor'easter. We have a prevailing wind direction out of the northeast, not a very strong wind, but it'll keep numbers down into the 50s during the day. A live look outside, it's 57 degrees, the south wind at 6. By the way, Boston did get up to 70 degrees on this Easter Sunday. We start off at 54 degrees. The rain arrives after lunchtime. It turns heavy for the evening drive, 55 degrees. I'll let you know how much rain we're expecting and the exact hour-by-hour timing coming up in your first alert forecast.
Marchand, an empty net goal, and it's 4-2.
And the Celtics trying to pull away up by 10.
What a day it was in the sports world. Gordon Hayward and the Celtics are moving on. The C's swept the Pacers today. Now they're on to the second round. And on the ice, the Bruins still alive after a big win in Toronto. They're now headed back to Boston for a do-or-die Game 7 against the Maple Leafs. Our Kevin Walsh has some of the highlights. Kevin.
Okay, here we go. Sunday fun day for the B's and the C's. They put the Easter stuff in the basket, and they went to work on winning. So give them a golden egg for the effort. Let's start with the Bruins first. Facing elimination, they went into Toronto and took over the joint after giving up the first goal. The B's responded with not one, not two, but 3 unanswered goals. Later added an empty netter. 4-2 your final. Next step coming back to Boston for Game 7. The last 2 times the Bees faced Toronto in Game 7, they won. Game on Tuesday night at the Garden. The Celtics played an elimination Game 2 and eliminated the Indiana Pacers in 4 games. Look at those moves, like back and forth. Celtics trailed by 7 points at one point, but like all the other games, they found a way to win. 110-106. 7 players scored in double digits, and Hoosier boy Gordon Hayward led the C's with 21 points. Next up, the winner of the Bucks and Pistons. It'll likely be the Bucks. They're up 3-0 in the series. That's sports. I'll see you later for Boston Sports Live. Nick.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Let's head overseas now. From morning prayer to shock and horror in Sri Lanka. Tonight, more than 200 people are dead, including several Americans. Authorities say a series of simultaneous blasts targeted churches and hotels on Easter Sunday. Our Perry Russum live with the latest on the attacks, and also he has reaction from Cardinal Sean O'Malley today. Perry.
Yeah, the Cardinal says he first heard about the attacks during Mass. He says he's praying for the victims as well as those behind the bombings. At Easter Sunday Mass at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, Cardinal Sean O'Malley prayed for unity.
This violence only leads to greater division and suffering.
There is suffering in Sri Lanka. 8 explosions killed more than 200 people.
It's a very, very sad day for all of us.
The country's defense minister blames religious extremists. 3 hotels and 3 churches were attacked during Easter Sunday Mass. This is St. Sebastian's Church. The explosion blew the roof apart. At St. Anthony's Shrine, a single shoe is left near broken glass.
There was a loud explosion. At about 1 kilometer away, we could see white smoke coming out.
Families are left guessing if their loved ones are among the injured or dead.
We will take all necessary action against any extremist group that is operating in our country.
The government has issued an island-wide curfew, and access has been cut to major social media sites to prevent the spread of misinformation.
We just went to the grocery store to stock up some food because we were not sure how it's going to turn out next few days.
Colpita.
At St. Peter's Square, Pope Francis offered prayers to all victims of violence. Tusith Manaham is with the Sri Lankan Association of New England. He says he questions security in his home country and the root cause of this evil.
I think there'll be a lot to learn from this, why, and come at it from multiple angles, if you will. And one of the questions going forward is about the stability of the country. This is their first major attack since their civil war ended 10 years ago, and so far 7 people have been arrested. We're live in Boston, Perry Russum, NBC10 Boston.
Perry, thank you for that. House Democrats meeting tomorrow to discuss their next steps after the release of the Mueller report, which includes possible impeachment proceedings. President Trump and the First Lady attended Easter services, but he was active on Twitter also today, calling the Mueller report, quote, the worst and most corrupt political witch hunt in the history of the United States, end quote. As for Robert Mueller, he ignored reporters' questions as he was seen leaving Easter service at his church.
Right now, police and air are investigating what they say appears to be an overnight home invasion. Police want residents who live in the area of East Main Street to use caution. They're advising you to lock your windows, doors, and to give them a call if you see anything suspicious in the neighborhood. In New Hampshire, take a look at this. Firefighters racing to put out the flames of this 2-alarm fire in Seabrook. This is on Irene's Way. Right now, it's unclear if anyone was hurt.
16 sick passengers landed at Logan Airport today on an American Airlines flight, and 13 of them had to be taken to the hospital. The airline says that this was a group of 13 students and 3 chaperones from the Boston area, and they were coming back from Ecuador. Today we spoke with a concerned passenger who was on that flight.
The scene when we landed was very confusing because as we landed, the captain came on and said, that there's some sick passengers on the plane, so nobody get into plane until medical personnel come on board. And then we pulled up to the gate and nothing happened for about half an hour.
Well, so the students and chaperones apparently gotten sick from something that they ate in Ecuador.
Happening tomorrow, the trial begins in Salem for the teen accused of murdering his high school classmate in Lawrence. Investigators say Matthew Borges decapitated Lee Manuel Valoria Paulino back in 2016. Borges is now 18. The victim was 16 when he was killed. The victim's body was later found in the Merrimack River. Also tomorrow, a Beverly man will face a judge. Michael Baker is accused of dragging a woman into oncoming traffic on Washington Street in Gloucester on Friday. They were both hit by a dump truck and rushed to the hospital. Police say it all happened after the two got into an argument. Baker faces several charges, including attempted murder.
Still ahead, terrifying moments caught on camera.
A woman pulled beneath a train, and we'll tell you how it happened.
Plus, saving children in trouble. Why this police canine is being called a hero. We're back in 60 seconds. All right, we're back with a look at your first alert weather.
And Chris, it looks like the April showers will continue tomorrow.
They will. In fact, some downpours expected as we go a little bit deeper to the afternoon. Tomorrow morning, we could see a little bit of sunshine, especially from the Pike north. 54 degrees, 59 at 10 a.m. And that's the same temperature at 1, and then mid-50s as that rain-cooled air moves in, 55 at 4. Here's the storm system, and whenever we have lightning developing offshore, that's a sign of rapid intensification. Essentially, this turns into a coastal storm that will deliver us a decent round of rain. 57 currently, a widespread 50s, a couple of 60s mixed in. Haverhill at 60 degrees. The rural areas to the south are a little bit cooler. Look at Nantucket now at 49 degrees. Temperatures overnight will drop another degree or two, and then they begin to climb and then stay in the mid-50s to around 60 degrees during the afternoon tomorrow. It's an interesting setup, and now the onset appears to start a little earlier for the Cape and Islands. Even 7 a.m. we could start to see that rain start to shift in. I'm going to kind of gloss through this and show you the general picture. That low departs during the overnight, and things begin to improve on Tuesday. The next cold front brings us showers during the day on Wednesday. You can see it moving into the Adirondacks by Wednesday morning, already seeing some showers locally. So let's go over that timeline. 7 a.m., perhaps some moderate to occasionally heavy rain for the Cape and Islands. As we go deeper in the morning to the early afternoon, here's 11:30. Those yellows and oranges indicating half-inch per hour rainfall rates. That rain continues to move in, spiraling in from the coast. This is at 5:30. This will slow down the evening drive. Southern New Hampshire, a little drier, but you too make up for that overnight as that band of heaviest rain then lifts to the north and west. If you have, say, maybe vacation homes up into the Lakes region of New Hampshire and the mountains, this is concerning because another round of heavy rain could cause additional river flooding. The showers could continue all the way through Tuesday morning before we see the system finally wind down. Rainfall amounts, I'm thinking this is underdone now. Widespread 1-inch amounts, but we could see upwards of 2 inches, especially if those bands remain stationary. They do tap into tropical moisture. We stay in the 60s through Wednesday. The cold front moves through. We're into the upper 50s on Thursday. We close out the week with another round of rain. But at this point, Christy and Nick, the weekend looks much nicer. Low 60s with a lot of sunshine.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Well, still ahead, no way out.
How a woman got stuck between the doors, then pulled under a train. The shocking video coming up. Just a horrifying moment caught on camera in San Francisco when a woman is dragged under a moving train.
Yeah, we do want to warn you, some may find the video pretty difficult to watch, but in the video you could see from this camera, as the woman had reached for that door, it closed on her hand, but the train keeps going and she can't keep up pace, and she somehow falls underneath the train. Somehow she survived, but suffered serious injuries. We're learning that this isn't the first time a passenger had gotten caught in a door. The city is working to upgrade its transportation system right now, and a similar incident happened back in December. Just terrifying to think something like that could happen. Well, here at home, a police canine is helping his sergeant rescue a group of kids that were trapped and in trouble in Devens.
We're told the kids got stuck inside an underground bunker. This is Jerry. He helps sniff out their scent, leading officers right to the buried bunker. The kids were trapped inside for more than an hour. Police pulled them to safety and thankfully were not hurt. Mosquito spraying in Boston gets underway this month, and tonight several police agencies are warning residents that they may see some low-flying helicopters this week as they begin to spray wooded and swampy areas across Norfolk County. Spraying also starts in Canton tomorrow.
All right, we'll be right back. Well, that is all the time that we have for you tonight at 11. I'm Nick Emmons.
And I'm Christy Lee. Kevin Walsh is in for NBC10 Boston Sports Live with Raul Martinez, and it starts right now.